are these people?
I know you brought this other article about coming back to the office, and this is one of our themes that I know we've been talking about. Feels like every week, which is this dystopian squeeze from the bosses to push everybody back to work, but not just back to work, but back into the office versus work from home or flexible working or a hybrid work schedule, which is what everybody's been kind of talking about as what seems to be the model moving forward. But what a surprise. Now, this is D-Hole Movement Moments, which I like that title at all. You know, in general, I didn't know this website. I wasn't familiar with it, but it's really good. But of course, I love this headline. Return to office is bullshit, and everyone knows it. So I'm going to let you go through this one if you want. I'm
definitely happy to do so.
This is a funny one that I thought you'd enjoy because you did this as well. And I don't know if did you write this? I'm kidding.
No, I didn't. I'm not. That doesn't look entirely like me. If I keep growing out the beard, maybe.
Well, he's got a home in Florida, so it could more be Reef, but it's not Reef either.
Oh, I die in Florida, so definitely not.
I
quit my job. I quit my job towards the end of last month. When I started this blog, I told myself, don't talk about work. Since my employment is in the rearview mirror, I'm going to bend that rule for once, and most likely only this one time. Why? Since I wrote a whole series about how to get into tech for as close to $0 as possible without prior experience, I feel like admitting my feelings would be on some level dishonest. Refusing forced relocation. I had been hired in 2019 for a cryptography team at a large tech company. I was hired as a 100% remote employee with the understanding that I would work from my home in Florida. Then a pandemic started to happen, which continues to be... Okay. The COVID-19 pandemic forced a lot of people who preferred to work in an office setting to sink or swim in a remote work environment. In early 2020, you could be forgiven for imagining that this new arrangement was a temporary safety measure that we would adopt for a time and then one day return to normal. By mid-2022, only people that cannot let go of their habits and tradition continue to believe that we ever return to the normal that they knew in 2019. As someone who had been working remote since 2014, as soon as the shift happened, many of my peers reached out to me for advice on how to be productive at home. This was an uncomfortable experience for many of them, and as someone who was comfortable in a fully virtual environment, I was happy to help. By early 2021, I was considered to not only be a top performer, but also a critical expert for the cryptography organization. My time ended up split across 3 different teams, and I was still knocking my projects out of the park. But more importantly, junior employees felt comfortable approaching me with questions, and our most distinguished engineers sought my insight on security and cryptography questions.
Right.
It became an inside joke of the cryptography organization not to let me ever look at someone else's source code on a Friday because I would inevitably find at least one security issue, which would inevitably ruin someone's weekend. I suppose the reasoning was that if the source code in question belonged to a foundational software package, it carried the risk of paging the entire company as we tried to figure out how to mitigate the issue and upstream the fix. Parentheses, I never once got earnestly reprimanded for finding security bugs, of course. I can't really go into detail about the sort of work I did. I don't really want to name names either, but I will say that I woke up every day excited and motivated. The problems were interesting, the people were wonderful, and there was an atmosphere of respect and collaboration.
Wait a minute. I'm smelling fucking Fed vibes all day here for a minute. I'm sorry. So, I can't go into detail about the sort of work I did, and I'm finding security bugs and cryptography organization. I'm just saying. All right, keep going.
I mean, this could be a Fed that's disgruntled with their job. Which is why I skipped a sort of line up there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Made me feel a little sus.
It's still happening, everybody. It's still happening.
We're all dying. It couldn't be anything else. Look it up for yourself, yo. Despite the sudden change in working environment for most of the cryptography organization in response to COVID-19, we were doing great work in cultivating the same healthy and productive work environment that everyone fondly remembered pre-pandemic.
Right.
And then the company's CEO decided to make an unceremonious, unilateral, top-down decision based entirely on vibes from talking to other CEOs rather than anything resembling facts, data, or logic. No shit. But they're leaving something out that we've already covered. Everyone must return to the office and virtual employees must relocate.
Wow.
Exceptions would be few, far between.
Require a C level to sign off on it.
Yeah.
Good luck getting
Good luck
exception.
getting Yep. Hey, tech workers, stop me if you've heard this one before. To the credit of my former managers, they sprung this dilemma on me literally the day before I went to a hacker conference, a venue full of hiring managers and technical founders. You went to
Thanks, dude.
You went to a hacking conference, huh, bud?
Well, no,
okay.
They sent not only that, but they sent him to a hacker conference. Effectively, he went on. He's a security guy on behalf of them. He happens to be going, and then they're like, "Yeah, dude, you have to relocate," or they're basically trying to tell him, "Go find another job because we're gonna make you have to come into the like literally relocate so you can come into the office." So
this is a good part. I like this. On ultimatums, if I had to give only one bit of advice to anyone ever faced with an ultimatum from someone in power over them, be it an employer or abusive romantic partner, it would be ultimately never choose the one giving you an ultimatum. As someone who's been in both of these, I would say that is some base advice. Anyone who's like, you have two options, tell them to go fuck themselves. That should be a golden rule of life. If your employer tells you move to an expensive city or resign, your best move will be in the end to quit. Notice that I said in the end. Perfectly okay to pretend to comply to buy time while you line up a new gig somewhere else. That's what I fucking did. Except they didn't give me an ultimatum. I just said like your pay is dog shit, and they're like cool story, and then they didn't do anything about it, so I left, and now they're fucked. And good riddance. So that's what he did. And he says, just don't start selling your family home or looking at real estate listings, and definitely don't accept any relocation assistance since you'll have to return it when you split.
Wow. See, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that if a company relocates you and you don't work there for X amount of time afterwards, even if it's not working out because they lied to you or changed your response, whatever, you have to pay that back. Wow. And now you're out that money. You're stuck in a new city. Jesus, what a mess. Yeah. Okay.
It's literally like the deal with the devil. That's what it is. That's what it should be regarded as. It's literally you're signing a contract with a member of the nine hells. Conversely, if you let these assholes exert their power over you, you dehumanize yourself in submission. Yes, you did just read those blogs on these words on a blog written by a furry. If you take nothing away from this post, always keep this in mind. This part is gold. That's honestly like just as a life lesson period, not even for work in general. If anyone's like presenting you with two options and you'd rather choose neither of them, you just choose neither and that's it. I know it's hard, it's scary, it's unsafe, but really, if you just follow that golden rule, and if we all followed that golden rule, then people would not be dickheads and give ultimatums because they realize nobody would follow them to begin with. So, from whence was this idiocy inspired? Nothing happens in a vacuum. Well, except arguing for capitalism. Eat shit, chuds. When more tech workers opted to earn their tech company salaries while living in cheaper cost of living houses, less tech worker money circulated to big city businesses. This outflow of money does hurt the local economies of said cities, including the ones that big tech companies are headquartered in.
Like Toronto.
In some cases, yep. In some cases, this pain has jeopardized a lot of the tax incentives that said companies enjoy. That's why we keep hearing about politicians praising the draconian way that the return to office policies are being enforced. Um, Seattle mayor praises Amazon's back to office policy. Oh my god, I hope your suit gets eaten by moths or something.
Uh,
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay, hold on.
Every company that issued forced relocation ultimatums to their pre-pandemic remote workers will not only lose most, if not all, of their top talent in the next year, but they will struggle to hire for at least the next coming decade. The bridge has been burnt, the well has been poisoned.
Yep. The companies that issued these ultimatums are not stupid. They had to know that some percentage of their core staff would leave over their forced relocation mandates.
Yep.
Many described it as a soft layoff
Yep.
tactic. Yes, which you saw in the last mandate that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they appreciate the breadth or depth of the burn they've inflicted. Even if they can keep their ships from sinking, the wound will fester and their culture will not easily recover. This will lead to even more brain drain.
Yep.
Furthermore, and I will say this forever, as I've said before, all your competitor has to do is to offer remote work, and guess what? They get all your best talent. It's easy. All they have to do is offer the exact same that other company offers,
Just from
and
home.
be like, nope, you can do remote. Done. Suddenly you got all the best workers, and the only people who are left are the poor, undervalued employees that feel like they can't get better. So this is like the most self-defeating bullshit on earth. I don't like, it's so dumb, and we all know deep down what it's about. It's about capital. We all know that. But I'm one thing I'm surprised by, it's that more companies aren't pushing back and saying, fuck, we're gonna hemorrhage a lot of amazing workers and all of our lives are gonna be way shittier. I guess that's just how firm the boot is on their necks.
No, what they'll do is they'll just whip new ones into shape. They feel like they can always create new stars. That's the arrogance of the middle manager, which is, well, I can always replace my top people. No, you can't. But you know, what they're pointing out here is that these H-1B visa employees whose immigration status is predicated on their ongoing employment, their ability to hop from abusive companies onto lifeboats is on the best of days limited. And that, well, that's going to get ugly.
Yep. And
Toward new opportunities. So here's,
as for me, I'm enjoying some well-earned downtime before I start my new remote job. Me too, buddy. I just had 4 days off. Only 3 of them were getting mauled by my cat. Kidding. It was all 4. I wasn't foolish enough to uproot my life and everyone I love at some distant corporate asshole's whims. Cause holy fuck, that just basically spells it all out right there. Sorry guys, I gotta leave because of a corporation. That's but I also wasn't impulsive enough to jump ship without a plan. That's as much as I feel comfortable saying about myself on here. Okay, again, dude, you're starting to glow a little bit. Just stop. If you're facing a similar dilemma, just know that you're not alone. Savvy companies will be taking advantage of your current employer's weakness to pan for gold, so to speak. I called this. You are not trapped. Your life is your own to live. Choose wisely. Addendum. After I posted this, it made the front page of Hacker News. It was subsequently posted in a few places. I was all the talk of the town over at Langley. No, I read between the lines.
Or Quantico, one or the other, yes.
Yeah.
After
reading some of the comments, I realized a few subtleties in my word choice didn't come across, so I'd like to clarify them. When I say RTO is bullshit, I don't mean office work is bullshit. I'll step a bridge further here, and I'll say I will say office work is bullshit because office work absolutely is bullshit. Okay, these office jobs, do not need to be done in a fucking office unless there's a specific reason to be doing so. The majority of them can be done from the comfort of your own house when you're not paying for transit, not losing hours of your day in that transit, and spending on all the other costs that are required to be in a set location for 8 hours and then going home. It is bullshit.
Well, there's apparently a large group of people or some kind of group of people that are angrily defensive about their desire to drive in and commute to an office and be there. As you can see that he's got to write a defensive addendum because somebody obviously came at him pretty hard.
Yeah, and I'm just going to speak to those people and say, listen, I get it. I've been there. I've had Stockholm syndrome. Okay? I've had the hypnosis in front of my eyes.
The
And
water
you can
cooler.
break free.
And all those
If
cool
you
people.
And I'll just say, like, if you get something out of in-person office work, maybe you're extroverted. You just need that thing with people. That's great. Do you? But don't get upset that a lot of other people choose another way. And this is a theme I think we should really embrace a lot more moving forward. Insofar as it's okay if someone else has a different choice than you. It doesn't mean they're a Nazi. Except in Canada.
Except in Canada, I was gonna say
those are good people up here. Those
the
are
bullshit.
Homies, I guess.
The bullshit is changing remote workers' employment agreements without their consent and threatening voluntary resignation as the only alternative, even though that's pretty obviously constructive dismissal. And when I discuss the ultimatums above, I'm specifically referring to actual ultimatums, not colloquial understandings of the word. If you can talk with the person, negotiate with them, it's not a goddamn ultimatum. Comply or suffer. I chose freedom. So
comply or suffer. I chose freedom. That about sums up the last 5 years of my life. And I'll let everybody connect the dots there.
I don't even want to ask
that was
about D-holes or Diffie.
That was a great article.
That's hilarious. Other than the fact that you're a little glowy and that you're a little weird on the COVID thing, but I would certainly like to check out this blog, this series about how to get into tech for as little as $0 without prior experience. I think that could be interesting to cover, to look at. And this is
for starters, I'd recommend Microsoft Academy. They offer fantastic courses on everything from C# to full stack. And they're all free. You can just do them at your own leisure. So Microsoft Academy is actually, is it still hold up on that.
Google had the Analytics Academy for a while also that did that free as well.
Just let me check. Okay, no, it's not Microsoft Academy anymore. It's Microsoft Training. And are these still free? Microsoft Azure Fundamentals start. Oh,
nice.
Yeah, it's still free. So just Google Microsoft Training if you wanna, write your first C# code. It's a module. There's a lot of good shit here. A lot of good stuff here. I have a million problems with Microsoft, but as far as like them offering just free, here's how you can learn how to do this. And first off, it's smart from business because it's like, okay, well, if you do all these Microsoft things and you get really good at it, where are you going to look for a job? Probably Microsoft, right?
Or at least using Microsoft products.
Yep, exactly. That too. And that's a good point as well. But yeah, you can definitely get there with $0, especially if you're open to sailing the high seas. I'll leave it at that.
I don't know what you mean.